Hello, friends. Today I want to continue on my reading of Japanese studies in Britain. Uh, I think I'm at chapter 5 now, and the reason I have uh, the building behind me, Cambridge University Library, will become apparent when I start reading, if not before. Designed by Giles Gilbert Scott, quite an iconic building. I've spent a few hours in here. Um, I say here, of course, it's a photograph sitting in front of a background created through the wonders of Zoom. I'm not actually sitting, or I'm not actually standing in front of the library at the moment. Um, okay, so anyway, before I continue, I've been talking a bit about family names, and I thought I might mention something about my own. Um, Ruxton, Ruxton, uh, and how it's pronounced in Japan. Well, um, you may know that foreign names get written in katakana, and quite often my name is written Rakusuton, so that becomes Rakuston. Okay. Uh, Now that's okay. I don't mind, but it's not as accurate as uh, kana is able to be in uh, conveying the X sound. So if you put the small tsu, if you know what I'm talking about, I hope you do. If you put in a small tsu, it becomes rukston, and then that's perfect. Ruxton, you've got the X sound. I think it's perfect. It sounds pretty good to me anyway, and a lot better than Rakuston. Um, for convenience, if I'm in a hurry, I will say, "Oh yes, my name is Raku Sutoten." But my preference is to have the X sound properly conveyed. Um, so there we are. There's two ways of pronouncing my name. I don't mind Raku Suton because um, that can be quite easily readily converted into kanji. So Raku can be tanoshi, enjoyable, as in an enjoyable person. Um, Su can be the Su of Sumoto, which is the town I lived in when I first came to Japan, Sumoto City on Awaji Island. Uh, that kanji means estuary, by the way. Uh, and ton, well, there are various possible kanjis. I tend to prefer to avoid buta, pig, and prefer the one which is used in the old writing of London, rondon, and the don, it can also be read ton, and so that sort of indicates my British origin. So rakusu ton. It's okay. I like it, in fact. So it's not tragic if the X sound is not properly conveyed. Um, all right, so sorry, that's a bit of a diversion from what we're talking about here. So it's time to share the text that I'm going to read today, which is very mercifully short because so far they've been quite long ones, haven't they? Well, Peter Kornitsky's one was the longest. About how many pages? 38 pages, is that? Yeah. And Richard Bowring's was reasonably long. So were the other two. All right. So, but the one you can see there, uh, Japanese Library Collections, Cambridge and Elsewhere, by Koyama Noboru, page 87 to 88. It's only 2 pages, mercifully, so I can get this done before dinner, as it were, which is quite soon. Good. So let's try and find Noboru's biography. I know him as Noboru because I've translated two of his books, which I may uh, give links to in the end screen. All right. So Noboru Koyama was head of the Japanese collections at Cambridge University Library from 1985 to 2015. He is the author of many books on relations between Britain and Japan, including Kokusai Kekkon Dai Ichigo, 1995, so that's international marriages between British and Japanese. Nihon no Shisei to Eikoku Oshitsu. Uh, I think that's about tattoos and the British royal family, published in 2010. And Rondon Nihonjin Mura o Tsukutta Otoko, the man who built or made the London Japanese village, or yes, Nihonjin is Japanese people, actually. Anyway, he also has written about Japanese at Cambridge University and about Ernest Sato's book collection at Cambridge University. Those are the two I've translated, not any of these three here. All right, let's move on to yes, he's mentioned in footnotes. But here it is. Here's chapter 5. So let's begin without further ado. Chapter 5, Japanese Library Collections, Cambridge and Elsewhere. Koyama Noboru. That's his name is in the Japanese order there, family name first. Japanese library collections in Britain are associated with two major historical events in modern Japan, the Meiji Restoration and World War II. Their collections originated after these turning points when Japanese books were at particularly low prices. Ernest Mason Sato, 1843 to 1929, one of three great pioneers of Japanese studies, together with William George Aston, 1841 to 1911, and Basil Hall Chamberlain, 1850 to 1935. Yes, those are the big three, I think. So to speak, was a prominent collector of Japanese books, and most of the important early Japanese books in research libraries in Britain derived from Sato's collection, including those of Cambridge University Library, the British Library, formerly the British Museum Library, the Bodleian Library, etc. Sato collected Japanese books enthusiastically in Japan in the early part of the Meiji period, and probably the size of his collection reached around several thousand titles, but in the mid-1880s, 1883 to 1886, he started to disperse his books to the British Museum and his friends. He took a post at Bangkok, Siam in 1884 to move from the consular to the diplomatic services, and in order to finish his Japanese days, his youth, he disposed his collection, I think that should be. He disposed of his collection of Japanese books, mainly from Bangkok, confirming his determination to make a new career. Okay. Sato's best examples of early printings, including early movable type editions, found a home in the British Museum in 1884 to 1885 through sale and donation. Sato also sent his Japanese books to Chamberlain in Tokyo and his Japanese books on Buddhism to James Troup, 1840 to 1925 in Kobe, and Thomas Waters, 1840 to 1901. But the majority of his collection was dispatched to Frederick Victor Dickens, 1838 to 1915 in London, and those books were subsequently lent or given to Aston for his Japanese studies in 1892. When Aston died in 1911, his library of 1,978 Japanese books, 82% of which had been Sato's books, ended up in Cambridge University Library. In the same year, Cambridge University Library received a donation of 721 Japanese books, which belonged to the former library of Heinrich Philipp von Siebold, 1852 to 1908. Also, Sato directly donated 433 Japanese books to Cambridge University Library in the following years, 1912 and 1913. In 1991, Early Japanese Books in Cambridge University Library, a catalogue of the Aston, Sato, and von Siebold collections, edited by Nozomu Hayashi and Peter Kornitsky, was published by Cambridge University Press. The catalogue lists 2,474 items of Japanese, Chinese, and Korean books at Cambridge University Library. After receiving the collections of early Japanese books in 1911 to 1913, Cambridge did not acquire a substantial amount of Japanese books until the Scarborough Report of 1947, which promoted Asian and East European studies, including Japanese studies following World War II. Cambridge received a grant of £6,000 for acquiring Chinese and Japanese books based on the Scarborough Report. Cambridge spent £3,500 on purchasing Japanese books in 1949 and 1950 and acquired 2,542 items, 13,653 volumes of Japanese books from Japan in order to establish the modern Japanese library collection. Classified catalogue of modern Japanese books in Cambridge University Library by Eric B. Keedle was published by W. Heffers and Sons, Cambridge, in 1961, and finally, the collection was ready to fully support Japanese studies at Cambridge University. That may be the end, is it? Whoop. Ah. Oh, I think that's probably the... Yes, that is in fact the end. It's just a very short note of 2 pages. So I shall stop the share now. And it seems otiose to say thank you for persevering to the end in this case, because it's been so short that even a person with a rather short attention span could probably get through this one, as opposed to the other ones, which were rather more demanding in their length. Well, thank you so much anyway. And I hope you enjoyed this short reading. And as I said, this will give me an opportunity to add links to my translations of Noboru Koyama's books in this screen. Thank you very much, and goodbye for now.